You're listening to Champion Cinema with Chris and Chris.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Champion Cinema. I'm Chris with a Corey Haim C.
And I'm also Chris with a Corey K. Because fuck it, I want to spell it that way.
Hey, you spelled Chris with a K. Why not Corey?
When I first looked for that, I was like, I'll probably just use Corey. And then I looked and was like, fuck, it's spelled with a C. Because I have seen it spelled with a K.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that spelling before.
Yeah, I think that it was the guy from like Double Toasted. I have a feeling he's a K. But anyway, yeah, there wasn't any Ks that I was really bothered about this week.
So yeah, this week we're looking at a mummy movie and a werewolf movie, continuing a little journey through the subgenres this October.
Halloween fodder, isn't
Yeah.
it? Halloween and like I don't know, Halloween, ghosts, witches, werewolves, and mummies and vampires.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Mammies and dogmen this week, basically. So we'll just get started, I suppose.
Yes.
So Sorry.
I just heard a weird noise, but I think it's the cats fighting in the other room.
Champion Cinema.
Dawn of the Mummy was released in 1981, runs for 1 hour and 33 minutes, directed by Frank Agrama, a.k.a. Farouk Agrama. So this was he's running WWF. It stars Brenda King as Lisa, Barry Sattles as Bill, George Peck as Rick, Abraham Khan as Karib, Joan Levy as Jenny, and Layla Nasir as the High Priestess. Now, I don't know if I've got all the major characters there, and weirdly, I couldn't find out who played the actual mummy.
Really?
But he's a big lad.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Very imposing.
But what's it about? What's the story?
Well, in Dawn of the Mummy, a group of fashion models on a photo shoot to Egypt accidentally awaken a cursed mummy and his zombie minions.
There they are in the background.
In Dawn of the Mummy, a group of fashion models on a photo shoot to Egypt accidentally awaken a cursed mummy and his zombie minions. As the undead rise, the models must use their best runway skills to dodge flesh-eating zombies and ancient curses.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is rare. I haven't seen, I'm not a big mummy movie expert, but a mummy movie filmed on location in Egypt, directed by an Egyptian director. That's got to be a unique set of circumstances.
I think that it certainly makes the movie look like better than what the budget would have allowed and stuff. The fact that it's shot in Egypt and stuff.
And apparently it had a mostly Italian crew, and it does feel like an Italian horror movie, especially just the way it does that classic thing of Italian horror movies, but then of like a short bit in New York and then we're off to an exotic location type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. 'Cause I do love that, because you open with a Egyptian flashback to like the olden days, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then it's just that great smash cut to fucking disco funk and roller skates in New York.
Yeah. I think there's, doesn't it like say present day twice as well, which made us laugh.
Oh, does it?
So yeah, it says like present day when you have the grave robbers, and then when it smashes to like that shot, it's like present day again. Yeah. It's like I couldn't guess that.
Yeah, it takes. I was like, wait a minute, has the title not already been on? Because the title Dawn of the Mummy appears about like 10 minutes into the movie, and I was like, that feels weird.
It's like they forgot or something.
Yeah, it seems like they're like, oh bollocks.
Like an episode of Star Trek or something where they have like the teaser, where it's like 10 minutes and then the credits.
Because they're like the actual idea is quite good. I think, like, if like a pharaoh and his zombie minions when they come back to life, who'd be the most useless people to have around? A Ponzi photographer and a bunch of models. Like, no offense to models, but you know what I mean.
No, it is interesting, and it's like. It's like I alluded to in the synopsis, like they haven't got any skills really to survive.
No.
And they just like line themselves up to die, basically.
And on top of that, you've got like a sort of roguish, like Indiana Jones if he was a massive twat, like treasure hunter, thief guy, Rick.
I couldn't get a feel for his character. I'm like, is he a villain? Is he a good guy?
He's not like a he's not a threat to the models really, but he's a shithead.
Yeah, he is.
I just thought he looked like Paul Hogan the entire time. It was hard to. I've got on my notes as Paul Hogan with ADHD
and a bad wig. As well.
I don't think seriously, that's just 70s helmet hair.
I think at times, anyway, I should say, to correct myself, I think, I mean, not that this film had reshoots, because, why would it?
Why?
But there's the odd shot where I'm like, he looks super different. It's like 2 weeks into the 3 weeks of filming or whatever they did, he just got too hot and shaved his head, and they were like, fuck, and they just put like any wig they could find on him.
Maybe he just was like, you know what I'm going to do midway through shooting? I'm going to try conditioner. He came back and his hair was all like lovely and bouncing. They were like, oh, for fuck's sake, mate. For fuck's sake, George.
It's like the humidity finally got to his
Yeah, yeah, that's probably it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a particular bit, can't remember where it is, but he's like, he's looming over the camera. I can't remember if a character's on the back and then the camera angle's from like their perspective or something. And he like looms over the camera. And for a minute I was like, has that actor changed? He looks like super different. But it's just something about his hair. Was weird.
That's what I meant like when I was saying I'm not sure if I got all the main characters listed in the cast, because for most of this film I'm going, who's that then? Who's it? What's her name? I was trying to keep, because as soon as it started, I was like, I know I'm not going to remember any fucker's name. So I was trying to take note of people's names when they got mentioned. 15 minutes in, I was like, oh, God, I'm not bad.
I haven't got the attention span nor the interest.
I know that the one guy, of the two guys with the models, one of them's the model, one of them's a photographer. That's pretty much the only thing I took from it that I could separate. And that guy, the model, you notice him just randomly. Everything, nothing really happened. Well, you know, no horror stuff really happens until about the 45-minute, 50-minute mark. So everything's kicking off at the end in this little village. At one point, that guy just runs up to a couple of zombies and does a fucking bit of kung fu.
He does.
Like, what the fuck was that?
Ad-libbed.
Yeah.
The zombie actor was like, whoa.
Yeah. It just comes out of nowhere.
The guy's like, I'm the star of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because generally, I would say the movie, probably just because of how like battered the movie looks now, it doesn't look great. At least like, you know, there is a new release coming soon that we'll talk about. I don't know how that's going to look, but it feels like a porno.
Yeah, it's because I mean, did you watch it on YouTube?
No, I started watching it on Prime out of just ease because I just had the PS4, and then I was like, oh, this is fucking awful. It was super soft, full screen, so then I dug out my old Anchor Bay DVD.
Because I was going to say, so does the Anchor Bay one look any better than?
It looks a little bit better, yeah. And it's in like, you know, it's widescreen, it's a little bit sharper, but it's still, you know, it's still not a great looking transfer. Because it's a 20-year-old DVD, so. Yeah,
well, that's it as well, yeah. Because I started it on Prime and like I think I paused to like, you know, protect my brain at one point. Yeah. And then I finished it on YouTube and I was just like, oh, this is begging for a remaster.
Well, we'll talk about that in a bit because I was quite pleasantly surprised at what's coming out in October over here.
It'll be good because I do think like a lot of my negatives of this movie just come from the fact like it was just such a bad version of the movie that I couldn't really tell what was going on a lot of the time and stuff.
There's a moment especially when I think when a couple of the models are on horseback and they get attacked by zombies and it's like Alien vs Predator 2. You just like, fuck, I don't know what's going on. I can see shadows and heads like being reflected in the moon, but I don't know what's going on.
I think I've forgotten it already, but I think I might have looked at a summary on Wikipedia yesterday. Yeah. And it like described that scene in detail. It was like, oh, they're attacked and like the horses get eaten and like one of them's beheaded like with a quick like swipe of the zombie's hand or something. I was like, I did not see any of that. But apparently one of the women gets beheaded.
Oh, okay.
So,
I look forward to seeing that in the 4K. But yeah, like I said, it's all set up. There's a bit of like gore here and there, like at the start where like that like red mist that is like a security device inside the tomb like starts melting people's faces and stuff.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. I like that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like some of the setup. I liked, like I said, the travel bloggy kind of feel about it. I like some of the music. I think it was kind of fun and goofy and stuff. It worked. Obviously, just fucking humongously dragged, though.
It does drag.
That's whole, like, half of the movie. Maybe it's 3/4 of the movie. It's like...
Tell you one thing, though. Speaking of the music, there was a piece of music that was used at the end, like in the wedding scene. I just kept waiting for Jackie Chan to show up. I was like, oh, Asian Hawk any second.
I was getting super Operation Condor.
It's hard not to. Anything in the desert, we just go, it's a bit like Operation Condor, isn't it?
Like, literally, the treasure hunters, I'm sure they're voiced by the same guys that dubbed, like, the Operation Condor guys. They're like, the treasure! Like, dude, you know, like the super stereotypical, like, Egyptian guy voice.
Yeah, they definitely do have that 80s dubbing style, that Hong Kong movie style, definitely. One bit I really did like that really stood out as far as just being a good looking creepy horror movie was the bit where the zombies rise at like dawn with the sun behind them. That looked great. I can't wait to see that cleaned up.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some stuff going for this movie. Like, it's interesting that all the zombies are like, well, zombie mummies, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They're kind of like all moist and putrid,
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, like I love the look of the
Kinda
main mummy. He looks cool. Looks terrifying as well.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, obviously, cashing in on the whole Romero thing, I guess, probably.
Yeah, and
the clues in the title.
there's definitely that bit where it's not as gross, but there's that bit at the end where he just finds his wife being eaten by zombies. That's straight up zombie flesh. He does.
Yeah, just the whole zombie thing.
Yeah.
They wanted to make a zombie movie, basically.
Well, it is a zombie movie.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't like mask it.
No.
It does say it's like the mummy and he's got an army of the undead.
Yeah.
So they are zombies.
Because all those dudes that like die with him are just literally guys. They don't get mummified.
Yeah.
They just hang on. They just put their head on his tomb and die, pretty much. Poor buggers.
The classic Egyptian thing, I guess. They were always, well, a lot of rich and like affluent people got buried with the servants.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I did like that bit though when during the wedding when the groom pulls back that curtain and he finds his wife being eaten and the mummy's just like standing at the side like he's the fucking doorman. He's just like, you're not coming in.
Just holding court over his little zombie pals.
Yeah, and the moment where there's he picks he's got different kill styles. The mummy, like he'll choke a guy like Rick, just choke him to death. And then there's some people he'll just rip their guts out. Or that other guy that he's mate who he just smashes in the bonds with a fucking cleaver and just hangs him up on a hook.
I mean, that's a hell of a scene. Isn't
It's
it?
funny.
To be
It's
fair.
funny. Yeah, it's good.
Really, really good. I think it's a great trailer moment.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like literally in the trailer. But
Yeah, the trailer makes this look action gore
Yeah.
filled with gore. Yeah.
It's like, fuck it hell, I gotta see that. And like, I'm not surprised to see that. Like, that was one of the key scenes that was cut out by the BBFC in the UK and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That sort of shit. And like, during that whole panic that everything's gonna cause the youth of the nation to go out murdering
They were
people.
worried. I think they were worried it was going to make kids mummify themselves with their mates and come back
Totally.
to kill their friends or something. I don't know. You know what they're like.
I mean, surely teenagers just wouldn't make it to the end of this film. 'cause
No,
they'd be like,
fucking hell.
bored.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. If I was like 10 back in the early 80s and someone rented this, I'd be asleep half an hour in.
10 minutes in, you'd be turned
Yeah.
off, wouldn't you? You'd be like, ugh.
And then you'd wake up at some odd point, like a horse being attacked, and be like, what's going on? Is this still the same film?
Totally.
I did like Rick's wonderful theatrical vomiting though, after he found his friend strung up.
Oh, yeah.
Just runs out flailing, going through his hands, just pissing myself.
Again, all ad-libbed. Probably done right there in the moment.
He was probably just hungover.
Yeah, because I imagine they probably did have a good laugh and had a few drinks in between filming and stuff.
Oh, like people always say about when they go shoot a movie just in some different country, they always just say like, yeah, even if film's not good, it's a good holiday.
Yeah.
I got to see Egypt. I'm sure that's what they all thought.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's not a great film. It's not a. I'll probably never watch it again. I'm glad I've seen it because it's been on me to watch pile for fucking years. So I'm glad we finally did it and I had an excuse to watch it. But I doubt I'll watch it again. I'll be interested to see what the Blu-ray looks like though.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think I would be interested to see like the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie cleaned up. And like maybe it's one or two scenes sprinkled throughout.
Yeah,
but I would never like sit down and rewatch the film start to finish again. Once is enough.
Yeah. For folks that haven't seen it, the way I can sum it up is it's halfway between like one of the lesser Fulci movies and like your average fucking Joe D'Amato movie. So like splice together the dialogue scenes from Anthropophagus and some zombie scenes from like Zombie 3. That's pretty much sums up the movie.
Yeah, it's fair. Maybe it's generous.
No, I don't know. I think I'd rather watch this again than fucking Anthropophagus, which people just walking going, oh my God, isn't Greece lovely? Oh my God, blood.
It is quite bad. It's basically like my general assessment of and I know like horror fans would hate this statement, but like most sort of video nasty films, all video nasty films are just boring slugs with a bit of violence at the end.
A lot of them are, though. A lot of them are. Because you got to remember, like, obviously the ones where, like Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, Last House on the Left, I Spit in Your Grave, of course, there's got a lot of problematic bits in it. But you got to remember, a lot of these fucking films were being, like, chosen and singled out by people that had, like, last watched a horror movie in the 50s.
Yeah.
So, like, anything slightly off to them was like, oh, this is abhorrent.
Yeah.
And then again, I will say, I don't mean to pile on Anthropophagus, but, that scene at the end with the pregnant woman. It's still pretty shocking. I can see why they pulled it off for that, but
pretty
fucking 90% of the movie is just a fucking chore. Anyway, we're not talking about
yeah, I'm just about to launch into something else, but yeah, we'll come back to that another day.
I think I've seen that film, though, at least a fucking handful of times.
Oh, no.
Twice for this fucking show, because there was that time we were supposed to review it, and you didn't have time to watch it, so I'd already watched it. And then we went, well, we've advertised it now, so we'll just do a commentary for it. So I watched it like twice in one day, thanks to you.
Hardcore.
Yeah. But as for the merchant stuff, CMV Laservision in Germany last year put out a Blu-ray. It contains 2 commentaries, one with Frank Agrama, which is on the old Anchor Bay DVD. I kept flicking back and forward between that and the film when I was watching it, when it was like just super dull. I was like, I want to see what Frank's going to say. And one with Lars Dreyer Winkelmann, who I believe, trying to find information about him. I think he's a film critic, because it's only in German, that commentary. And trailers plus a DVD copy. The transfer on this one it's a cut and paste job. It's the HD transfer comes from a censored German print with the gore spliced back in from a standard def print. So it's one of those kind of things. But I was thinking, that's the only place it's available on Blu-ray. But then I just did a quick search. Treasured Films, who are actually quite a new company in the UK, are releasing a lovely looking limited edition next year.
Oh, that is quite nice.
Nice, isn't it? Lovely new artwork and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it's going to feature an audio commentary from good old Kim Newman, plus that old commentary track with the director, a bunch of video essays and interviews, and the artwork is by an artist called Justin Coffey. It's very nice indeed. And, reproduction lobby cards, looks lovely. It's out on the 28th of October in the UK.
Mad.
Yeah.
Just mad, some films that get this amount of love. I mean, it's great, don't get us wrong. But,
oh, yeah.
But yeah, mad. But yeah, I'll definitely look out for cleaned up versions of that to watch.
Yeah. So yeah, no art to speak of really, but I do love the original artwork. It's so just classy looking.
Well, I was
with the
just
mummy
about to
coming out the
say,
ground.
yeah, there isn't. I'll send you, just as we usually do, so the link to some of the international.
Let's have a look.
stuff.
It's some international art.
But as I said, I think they nailed it really. Surprisingly, the highest quality element of this movie is the poster.
Yeah, it's a great
really,
poster.
Yeah, very iconic looking.
What the fuck is that one in the top? Why does it look like fucking Belial from Basket Case? What the fuck's that?
Yeah, some Spanish international cover. Yeah, they're just like, it's got mutants in it.
El Despertar, la Momia.
And the interesting, the German one in the top row with like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a tooth. I don't know if that's just where my head's at the moment.
Yeah, kind of does.
But like the 2 hands that are like merged.
Melts together.
Yeah. There's a lot of hands in that poster, basically.
Yeah.
And the monster's hands either side.
I do like that simple tagline though. It lives, it kills. I love that.
Just straight to the point.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the red variant of the poster. I always like black and red on horror posters, and that looks really nice. What's that? That's the Australian poster, the Dave. That's really nice.
Like really pulpy looking or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it.
Yeah.
So I do like it. It's a type of poster like I would like to own, something like that.
Me too, actually. Yeah, it's just a very nice poster, yeah. So yeah, that's Dawn of Your Mummy.
Dawn of the Mummy.
Dawn of the Mummy. Dawn of the Mum.
Champion Cinema.
So, moving a little bit further to 1985's Silver Bullet, with a runtime of 1 hour 35 minutes. The film's based, of course, on a Stephen King novella, Cycle of the Werewolf, directed by Daniel Attias. Attias.
Jody, it's Attias, man.
Attias. Starring the irrefutable Gary Busey as Uncle Red. Everett McGill as Reverend Lowe, Corey Haim as Marty Colso, Megan Follows as Jane Colslow, Terry O'Quinn from Lost, Locke from Lost as Sheriff Joe Haller, and a bunch of people I don't care to go into.
It's got a hell of a cast, though.
It does, though. It does. It has, I feel like some people that you tend to see in kind of Stephen King-y type things and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good. But, what's it about?
Well, in the spring of 1976, in the small town of Tarker's Mills, a spate of gruesome murders have the town in a state of fear. Soon it is revealed that this is not the work of a madman, but that of a lycanthrope.
Nice.
Or a werewolf, to you and me. That's the plot.
very good. I like the old school vibes.
Didn't mean to do it. It just happened.
I like it, just riffing.
I don't know why.
Like basically like what Gary Busey did for most of this movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
from apparently all accounts.
Actors looking nervous as fuck around him and stuff, not knowing what he's going to do.
I'm definitely convinced that most of his lines were ad lib. There is trivia that kind of suggests.
Yeah, that he did a take that was ad lib. He did this, the script, and then did a ad lib take, and most of the time they kept the ad lib take.
Yeah,
apparently.
Just comes over as like very natural. I will say that he's very charismatic at this point.
He's great in the movie. Yeah,
Lucy. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, based on a Stephen King story.
Yep.
And it feels very Stephen King, small town, horrors in a small town. So it's that great Stephen King feel. But fucking hell, first scene, the guy in the railway tracks.
Beheading.
But what the fuck? What was it with, especially 80s movies and usually horror movies that portray like blue collar guys doing important jobs as drunks? Why? Was that just a thing? Well, better pay this pylon that's got 50,000 volts running through it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I guess they just needed the drink to get through the fucking miserable lives.
I guess. Because it's like, the one I always think of is the groundskeeper in Jason Lives, who's just pissed all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a few other movies where it's
yeah.
they'll pull a little bottle of whiskey out while they're like fucking, I don't know, handling plutonium or
Yeah,
something.
I do feel like that's a thing I've seen over the years. Yeah.
It's a weird cliche. It's like another cliche that we always mention of like hackers that like to chew chewing gum. It's like, why? But why?
Like one guy started it basically, and then it just went from there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a hell of an intro. Guy getting his head swiped off in graphic detail.
Yeah, and a bit of a voiceover throughout the movie. I guess it's voiced by the daughter character.
Yeah.
And she's kind of saying like, I don't know, it's like the town's slow to react to the fact that people are just getting brutalized.
Yeah, they are a little bit, yeah. Because that one, they like sort of pass off because he died on a railway track and the train went over his like headless corpse. They decided that's probably an accident. I know he was drunk. So.
Yeah, they're like, drunk Jim. Fucking I was getting beheaded and whatnot.
It's the fourth time this year he's been fucking beheaded.
I just laughed. There's like a scene at one point when the cops are like, or the sheriff's coming out of like wherever, a building or something, and I think it's
wherever, building,
some sort of municipal building, and the mayor's like, what are you doing about these deaths? And the sheriff's like, yeah, I'm working up to it or something. It's like, you're working up to it. There's been like fucking 3 deaths in your town, in your small town. Shouldn't it be like top your list?
The film just starts and says it's spring. In the book, I think it takes place over an entire year.
Yeah, that would make
So
sense.
I think they've compressed it down to where it's obviously this is all just happening like in the space of a month, I guess.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense in the book that there'd be like random murders every couple of months or something.
Yeah, so like the police aren't like immediately alarmed.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Like 5% of our fucking like population has died.
Like at this point, like the scene where Corey Haim's mate dies and Terry Quinn's all like freaked out and like reciting like a Bible passage and stuff, really should have just been going, what the fuck?
Yeah. Just totally freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say though, I've seen this once before, but I could not remember it. I saw it when I was really young.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think it's really, really solid. Like good werewolf movie, good sort of like kid sort of kind of kid friendly, if you know what I mean. Like in the same way that like the Monster Squad and things like that. Kind of like
it's like a horror movie you could watch when you were about like 10.
Yeah.
And you'd be all right.
You would be like a bit scared by the werewolfy stuff, but you would like relate well with Corey Haim and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is, obviously part of Corey Haim's like charm.
Oh, he's great in the movie.
Young,
you forget
young lads.
You forget how like talented he was when he was like, a younger actor.
Yeah, bless him. Yeah. Like I said, just easily relatable, and that's why like Lost Boys works really well and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like 80s kids growing up could relate to him really easily. And then obviously, young girls fancied the hell out of him.
Yeah, he was a heart up, him and Feldman.
Yeah.
2 Corys.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Busey shines in the movie.
Yeah.
He's just so fucking likable. His like drunk loser Uncle Rex.
Like everyone wants an uncle like that, right? I guess.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I think everyone kind of does have an uncle who's similar in a way. Most people do. Yeah. And he's just cool.
Yeah, I like you've seen where he's like, goofing about with Corey Haim's character and stuff, and he tells that shit joke about being an
Jackass,
ass, the
yeah.
Jackass story, that's probably like ad-libbed by him. I would
That's
imagine.
definitely an ad.
But then the like line that he delivers to the mums really like it's well acted, but it's like really well done. The whole like, you know, it's not just your job to get him like out of the chair into the bed and out of the chair into the bath and stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just something about us really struck a chord with us.
Yeah. I really like that line. When she also says, Stephen King wrote the screenplay for this as well.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Yeah.
I really like the line as well during that conversation that ends it when like she's worried about him like becoming like lost and giving up on life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's not gonna give up on life. And she says, "Well, I don't need you hanging around showing him how to do it," or something like that. And I was like, "Well, that's a fucking brutal line."
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, there's some really like decent interactions between characters. I'd say that's definitely one of the big strengths of this movie.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you give a shit about the characters, definitely. Yeah.
And even like the relationship between like, you know, the brother and the sister.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, it's troubled. He's like, he's a bit of a dick. She hates him and stuff.
Yeah, she resents him for like, you know, obviously having more attention put on him because he's disabled in a wheelchair.
Yeah. But, you know, I kind of buy into that whole feeling of them like coming together.
Yeah.
And like loving each other towards the end of the movie and stuff.
Yeah. There's one standout moment though that I thought I would have remembered when it happened. I was like, how the fuck don't I remember this? It's a fucking nightmare fuel, the priest's nightmare where everyone in the church turns into a werewolf. I was like, Jesus, this is awful.
Yeah, kind of don't know where they're going at first.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? Just when like the dad's like manically laughing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, where's this going? And then like quite quickly you like catch on like, I think they're doing like a nightmare thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did get a laugh out of us. The like the werewolf on the organ and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I tell you what else I really liked the movie. I didn't take note of the actor's name, but the guy who plays the dad of the murdered kid.
Yeah.
The bald guy. He gives such a great monologue in the bar to Terry O'Quinn.
Funnily enough, yeah, I put that down as like one of my highlights, the bar bit. Yeah,
that was great.
Something about it's really good. Very unusual looking guy. Mm-hmm. I almost like, I don't think he was, but at first I thought he was like wearing makeup to make him look older. Mm-hmm. But I think he's just one of them guys that's got like weird like blonde hair. Like dark complexion and blonde hair that makes him look a bit strange.
Yeah.
But I could see him like doing well in like other horror films.
Yeah.
Got that look about him. But yeah, really good seeing that. And obviously, speaking of really good actors and characters and stuff, Everett McGill, as always.
Everett McGill's always good, isn't
he? Yeah, really good. Like this and People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
Two amazing movies. He's just a powerhouse in both
the movies. And a scary... It's I love actors that can, like we've always said, like John Lithgow can either be like, what a great dad, or fuck off, you're terrifying. And Everett McGill's kind of like that as well, because you think like how likeable he is as like Big Ed and Twin Peaks and stuff, and then how fucking terrifying he is in this and People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially People Under the Stairs. He's fucking unhinged in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Like, he's got all the, like...
the with a shotgun.
Yeah. Like, totally off the wall. But, yeah, I was really surprised how much I, liked Everett McGill in that movie. Because, I've not seen him in a great deal. I was aware he was in, like, Twin Peaks and stuff.
And he's in Dune. I always forget he's in Dune.
Yeah. He's, like, the Duke or whatever from the top of my head.
Yeah.
No, not the Duke. I can't remember. Shit. But yeah, I think like the things that I have seen him in are just like super stick in my head.
Yeah.
Like the performances, like really, really charismatic guy.
And I love how, spoilers, I guess. It's a fucking almost 40-year-old movie.
Yeah.
But he's the werewolf.
Yeah, it's a nice reveal.
It is.
You kind of see it coming as you get closer to it, but it's a cool idea.
Well, that was the only thing I could remember about the movie, that he's the werewolf. So it was kind of like, it's like watching it for the first time, but knowing the end, basically. So I was like, that's a bit of a shame. But I do love the reveal, because she's going around, like, she starts to first, oh no, actually, she believes Corey Haim straight away. She says, like, I don't know why, but I just believed him, which is pretty cool. And then she's going around door to door looking for people with one eye, because Corey Haim shoots the werewolf in the eye with a firework.
Yeah. That's a cool scene as well.
It is, yeah. And then the like pan and shot where it just pans across and it reveals he's got like the eye patch and it's like, whoa. It's great.
Just back to her.
Yeah.
The person you'd suspect the least.
Exactly, yeah. And I love from that point on, he doesn't hide it anymore. Because he's just being a normal guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does make you
priest.
think, like, it kind of bucks the trend of, like, when somebody's a werewolf, they're like out of control, and you know they're kind of sickened by their existence and stuff. It kind of feels like he's more in control.
Yeah.
Than what usually is portrayed in werewolf movies.
Even like that kind of messed up moment when he like corners Corey Haim in the like disused bridge, and he like rationalizes killing a woman that was about to commit suicide. He's like, I saved her soul; she would have went to hell. And I'm like, that's such a fucked up rationalization.
Yeah, I could see that. You know, like a religious person with like, I could almost say a religious person that was a serial killer doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like rationalizing the killings in their head.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was quite interesting, that angle.
I love that moment though. I don't know why it just made us chuckle, because it was just kind of like weirdly dark, where like it pushes in on like him's serious face, and he's like, I know what to do. And then it just cuts to him writing a note that says, "Top yourself, mate." So that's your grand plan. Write my letter saying, "Kill yourself." And that's another thing as well. He's like, I can't kill myself because I'm a man of God. I'll go to hell.
Yeah, what a conundrum.
Yeah.
I really laughed. There's a bit when Brucey delivers the line where he says, like, sometimes I think your common sense was paralysed along with your legs.
Yeah.
Which that was quite a snappy line.
Yeah, Busey has all the best lines in the movie, because most of them are probably just off the top of his fucking head.
Especially like as well the fact that he pretty much insisted on doing all these stunts at the end.
I was going to joke about that. I was like, do you think he did all the stunts, or was he just fucking doing it and they were lucky the camera was rolling?
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, because he fucking properly launches himself.
He does. Yeah,
he cuts his arm for real as well. You can see it on camera when he smashes through the mirror.
Those marks at the end, I was like, that just looks like real fucking like scrapes and blood. It probably friggin' is.
Yeah, it was. Apparently everyone was a bit like, but he was just like, keep filming.
Yeah, because this was like, I'm sure Busey was always a bit wacky.
Yeah.
You can tell from his like ad-lib takes and this that he's probably always been a bit wacky. But, you know, post like the bike accident he had, he got wackier.
Yeah.
Because, we always make the fucking joke back in the day that, like, the Buddy Holly story.
They were making something else.
They were making something else. And then one day, Busey just turned up dressed as Buddy Holly and went, we're making the Buddy Holly story. And they were like, oh, fuck. Just do it.
Just shut him up. Let's just make it. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah. I just love
it is random.
I know. I just love our fucking version of Busey that he's just a mentalist. That, like, every movie he's in, it was his idea. And he forced everyone to go along with it.
Like, fucking him and Nick Nolte just turn up.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, God.
I want a movie with that. If only we could have got it in like the 90s of like an aging buddy cop duo of like Gary Busey and Nick Nolte.
Yeah, that would have been insane.
Just the stories from the fucking set would have been insane. Never mind the movie. But yeah, also a special shout out. Someone we mentioned not long ago, actually, Jay Chataway, who composed the score, also composed the score for Maniac that we talked about a little while back. It's a good mix of like theatrical and grungy synths, which is great.
Yeah. So I didn't particularly notice the score myself, but then again, I never, like, that's, can be good and bad. Like, I never really thought, oh my God, the music or anything. It just did its job and set the tone for the movie.
Yeah, if you don't notice it, then it's doing its job sometimes. Yeah, if it's got to set a tone. But I just always like his scores. I always think he's a really underrated guy.
Yeah, cool.
The one thing that when I was watching it, because, like I said, it's very small town. I love small town horror. Like, Stephen King does really well. But there was a few shots I was like, this place looks familiar. Like, so I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it's Wilmington, North Carolina they shot it in. And I thought, like, that sounds familiar. Like, I've heard other films have been shot there. So I looked up, like, what films have been shot there. A lot.
Oh, really? Just got one of them looks, basically.
Blue Velvet, another small town horror movie. Trick or Treat, the 86 one. Exorcist 3. Cyborg. The Super Mario Brothers movie, The Crow, as well as like earlier Stephen King movies, Cat's Eye and Firestarter.
I guess it's just one of them places that's like out of the way enough.
Yeah, it's
not hard to get to.
It's just got that great look for small town America, I suppose, that Hollywood wants. So,
yeah. I guess the dwindling thing, really, those towns now. Maybe to some degree. Like,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, thinking about it. I kind of said it, but I thought, I don't know. Sometimes with America, they do have their isolated pockets as well.
Yeah, there is still those small out-the-way towns, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a huge place, Wilmington, but yeah, it looks great on film, though, I'll say that.
But what about the ending, though? The ending was a bit weird for the movie, I thought.
I think that's it. The one criticism I would have is the end. It seems to build towards a very sudden ending. Yeah. It feels like, I don't know, maybe they realise, like, it's probably, they want to do more, but they don't have the money. Because, it just like, it builds up to like, we sent the parents away. It's just us and the werewolf now. And the werewolf's at the window like, hiya. And then he gets shot, basically. Chucks Busey a boot for a bit and then gets shot.
Yeah. Like, was there problems? Did they run out of money? Were they worried that the suit looked shit? If you got a good enough look at it?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's a very sudden ending. Because I was looking, I was like, how much longer is left? 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It hadn't even shown up yet, and I'm like, that's weird. It just feels very
And then obviously
truncated.
Just ended with a weird voiceover as well, with her going I love you too.
Yeah.
Did he die?
Yeah, it does have that, because I don't know if the novel's written from her perspective, but it does have that feel of she's writing it obviously years later, talking about it years later after he's passed away or something.
Yeah.
It does have a kind of somber ending.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think this is easily a film I would rewatch again.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it might have just went above The Howling in my list of favourite werewolf movies. Maybe second now, below American Werewolf. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I suppose a cool Corey Haim double bill with this and
Yeah.
Lost Boys.
Werewolves and
stuff.
vampire double bill.
Yeah.
As for merch, Show Factory put out 4K, I think, last year.
Yeah.
With a new transfer and all that jazz. Got commentaries, 3 commentaries, one with the director, which is, I was looking up his film, this is the only movie he ever did, the rest is all TV, and he's done pretty much, you would have seen at least 5 episodes of stuff he directed over the years. He's done a bunch of It's Always Sunny's, Lost, I think Sopranos, he's done pretty much everything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy, because it's a really well-directed, good-looking movie. I'm surprised it's the only feature movie he ever directed.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Yeah. You've got a track on there with the isolated score plus an interview with Jay Chataway, and just it seems like a pretty jam-packed Blu-ray and 4K release. Yeah.
Well, in terms of art, there isn't, again, there's no, sadly, nobody's really done any, things you can buy in terms of produced art and stuff. I looked on the usual place where we normally look, there's no alternative posters.
There definitely is, because I was just about to bring up, there's the American one, which is kind of bland.
Yeah.
There's an Enzo Schiotti one that is amazing.
I'll send you the link to an alternative website.
Yeah, that second one, that's the Enzo Schiotti one with the baseball bat. That's so fucking cool. You can just tell it's him straight away.
Exactly, yeah. And that's nice. That would be an amazing. But I'm just surprised nobody's even, done that. When they go in and I'm trying to think of the term, but it's where they reconstruct a classic poster.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody's trying to do that with that, because it's cool.
Because I think that first one, I think that's the Show Factory 4K Blu-ray cover.
Yeah,
with him on the
that
bike.
Art looks super Necker something. I wonder if it's an artist that does a few Necker boxes. Or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And they've done bits. But yeah, I think overall, probably the Enzo Schiotti one's my favourite out of everything that I've seen.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, that fucking video cover's a bit rubby. You seen that one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Were they just trying to cash in on Teen Wolf or something?
Weird, emaciated-looking cat werewolves.
That kind of looks like Reba. Like my cat, at ears.
And, featureless Corey Haim on his bike at the bottom. It's a very odd-looking... If I picked that up when I was a kid, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah, totally. It's not selling the movie at all to me. Nice spot. Yeah, weird.
Oh, I remember that one, though. The one... if you keep going down, it's a Canon video release. I remember that video cover.
Oh, yeah.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, doesn't give much away, and it's it's creepy. Yeah, so there's some decent stuff out there.
Oh, speaking of the baseball bat, though, that was another highlight of the movie. Just giving a mentalist like Lawrence Tierney to fucking wield a baseball bat in a movie on a set. I wouldn't trust him with a baseball bat. And just the fact that through the fog, the werewolf steals his bat and beats him to death with it.
Yeah.
That got laugh out of us.
I did like that scene. Actually, I thought it was a creepy scene.
That was a great scene.
With them they're blinded. I mean, firstly, that classic, town mob. They're like, we're gonna go get him.
Yeah.
And they all just pile out of the bar with the shotguns and stuff.
Yeah. And the sheriff making the huge mistake of going, you know what, just let them. They're not gonna find anything.
Yeah. But they just march to the death. And I like the realization when they're like, should we just go back? Fuck. But yeah, it's scampering around their ankles under the fog. I thought that was kind of
it's really creepy. And just keeps
idea.
picking them off one by one.
Yeah.
It's a cool moment.
Yeah, definitely.
But if anyone's listening that has never watched Silver Bullet, maybe you're not a fan of werewolf movies, give it a go. It's really good.
Yeah,
I think, you know what it is? It's a fucking little bit of a hidden gem, I think. You never hear it mentioned in the same sentence as The Howling, American Werewolf in London. It's always a sort of B-tier one, but now I would say it's up there with them.
It's, I suppose that tragic thinking about it, just as we're talking about it. Tragic about Corey Haim. I mean, we'll probably, we might do Lost Boys again at some point, but
Oh, yeah, definitely.
we don't usually talk about Corey Haim that much, so here's an opportunity to talk about it. Like, the tragedy of his, like, young adult life.
I know.
The substance abuse and
Yeah.
drank and took drugs until he died, basically.
Poor
Kind
guy.
of sad.
Yeah.
Just with, the motifs in the movie about, him not learning from his uncle to, like, become a drunken waster and stuff.
Yeah.
It did make us think of it at times when I was watching it, like, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is a shame. Because, like I said, like I'm so used to him in, like, Lost Boys, but when you see him when he was, like, a few years younger, and you're like, he was a fucking cracking actor. Like, cracking child star.
Yeah. Just fame and money and easy access to drugs and the whole toxic environment and,
Well, you can't say that. I'm going to have to blip that out because you're going off fucking Corey Feldman's words there, which is,
I've heard that by the...
I'm going to cut all that out.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Well, if you're going to cut it out, may as well go to town. I will say that the industry and everybody around him at that time just was fully responsible for fucking him up and allowing him to fuck himself up. Basically.
Yeah. It's just like, thankfully you don't see that as much anymore. Thankfully, at least Hollywood, I think, has learned its lesson when it comes to, like, child actors and, like, protecting them a bit more. Hopefully that's the case anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then it was just like, you had, like, Drew Barrymore was fucking so lucky to come out of her fucking situation she was in when she was younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
She was, like, smoking weed when she was, like, 10 or something. I'm sure I've read once.
Yeah. Well, I think Corey Haim was, like, drinking beer, like, on the set of, like, one of the movies, like, before this. He was, like, drinking beer basically, like, openly by the time he was, like, 14 and stuff.
Yeah, Jesus.
And, like, he was, like, like, smoking weed and stuff, like, while making Lost Boys and things. And so it's just like, God, crazy.
I know.
Champion Cinema.
So yeah, that's Dawn of the Mummy and Silver Bullet. Next week, we're going back to an old favourite subgenre, the slasher movie. We're going to look at Madman and The Boynin. It's going to be lovely. You can find us on Instagram at Champion Cinema Pod. We've got a shop on TeePublic. Review us on iTunes and Spotify. Hey, even if you don't use Spotify to listen to the show, go find one there and give it a little 5-star rating. That'd be nice.
That's where I watch.
See?
Listen to our show.
That's why he listens to The Patter again.
Yes. I send myself to sleep with it.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way.
No, just it's like ASMR.
Yeah, I just listen to the smooth baritone lullings of our voices.
Lullings. So yeah, until next week, folks, with Madman and The Burning, I will see you down a pit.
See you, Neep.
Bye.